In today's video, we're going to be reviewing chem-x, Stars and Stripes, the two-step touch-free car wash solution. Now this has been one of the most requested videos, I think, especially when I talk about no-touch or touchless car wash shampoos. Everyone recommends this stuff, everyone talks about it, so we're finally going to dive into it. We're going to be testing it on my vehicle, doing a true touch-free car wash. I'm not going to touch it at all. We're going to check and see the performance of it compared to an area that has been touched. We're also going to be testing the pH levels. Now, the step 1 says it's a pH of 2, and step 2 says it's a pH of 13. So we'll test that, and then we'll also test the ability of how these two neutralize each other out. Supposedly, you put the low pH, then you put the high pH directly on top of that. They neutralize out, they break down all the dirt and contamination, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and jump into this and start off with step 1 of this process. Let's test the pH. All right, guys, so I have my trusty pH meter here, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little bit of each solution into a little bit of a little jar beaker deal, and then we're gonna test the pH. Very, very simple process here. This pH meter is calibrated so that we're sure to get a nice accurate reading. The step 1, the stars of Stars and Stripes, this is the lower pH, the acidic part of the solution here, and it's coming in quite a bit lower than the pH of 2 that they advertise. Now, I don't know if they're advertising it as diluted or if they're advertising it straight out of the bottle. Typically, it should be straight out of the bottle in my opinion, but as you guys can see from the video, I'm getting a reading of 0.8 on the pH scale, 0.8. So quite a bit lower than the 2 that is listed. Now when we go over to the other side, now we're gonna be testing the Stripes side. This is the pH of 13. Again, same thing, put the solution into a little beaker and we test that, and this one's much, much closer and more accurate to what they list. They list pH 13, and I'm getting a pH level of 12.64. Now, the third pH test that I want to do is actually a solution that came off of the vehicle. So I started off with step 1, foamed it on, followed up with step 2, foamed that on. What fell off of the vehicle I captured and I wanted to test. Now this is the one that should be pretty neutral, right? Now one caveat to that is I am using deionized water. Deionized water typically sits a bit higher on that pH scale. So really neutral is anything from like 6 to 9, they kind of classify as neutral. Really 7, 7.5 is like right straight dab in the middle. Now my water, my DI water comes out at about an 8.5. So keep that in mind. That's going to affect, even if this comes out completely neutral, say at a 7, the DI water is going to bump that up a little bit. And as I test this, it's coming in at a pH of 8.27, which I am completely fine with. Absolutely truthful in what they state. It neutralizes out and still does a fantastic job cleaning, which we will get into here shortly. Now, one more test just to see without the added effect of the deionized water. I just wanted to test equal parts step 1, equal parts step 2, and see where they sit. So I went ahead and mixed that up into a beaker, and guys, I'm getting 7.47-ish, right? Kind of bouncing right around there, 7.47. Totally neutral, fantastic. I'm very, very happy with that. It does exactly what it says it's gonna do. So now let's go ahead and talk about the actual performance of this. So we're gonna hop outside. I'm gonna film most of this on my phone. Here we go. All right, guys, so here is my Mercedes Sprinter van. Now this has been parked at my shop outside for, I don't know, a few weeks actually. I haven't been driving this thing, so it's quite dirty. We've had a lot of fires. We've had a lot of just moisture in the air, and then also a ton of wind. So as you can see, the surface of this vehicle is very, very dirty, as well as the windows. Let me go ahead and kind of pan around this entire thing for you. So as you can see, the window there, filthy. The hood, filthy. Lower door panels, filthy. Then we move to this back area here where the track is. Obviously the track is very, very dirty. Dirt build up around it. This little lip here always gets a ton of contamination and dirt build up. Let's go ahead and keep going around. And we've got same thing here, guys. Really dirty, really dirty. These drips typically don't disappear 100%, especially from a no contact wash, which is what we're gonna be testing here today. So same thing here, more drips, more dirt contamination up there. Just filthy down the side of this thing. Hopefully that's picking up for you guys. Just really, really dirty. And then the lower panel here as well. Now what I did is I went around the vehicle and I did leave, I know I shouldn't be doing that because I can't scratch the surface here, especially with this amount of contamination, but I want to see if it's really making a difference. So because that area is clean from a contact, right? Now when we treat the area and then blast it off, we'll be able to see if there's a difference from that compared to the rest of it. This area here gets a ton of buildup, just road grime just gets stuck on that lip. Even rubbing there, it's not gonna come out. That needs a bit more, but we're not gonna be dealing with that. And then same thing, so we made that spot there. We made this spot here. So we were able to test that. And then we made a spot in the windshield right there as well. All right, guys, so here it is, right? chem-x stars and stripes, the two-step system. Step 1 is the pH of 2, so that's the acidic. Did I say step 1? Step 1 is the acidic, step 2 is pH of 13, so that's the alkaline. They neutralize each other out, and everyone talks so highly about these, so I wanted to make a nice comprehensive review of this and test it out. So when we talk about the dilution of these things and the instructions, yeah, the exact same on both sides here. So it just says apply stars to the vehicle. Stars is step 1. From bottom to top. Now, why do they recommend that? Especially with these heavier cleaners like that, they recommend that so you don't get any streaking down the side. So bottom up. So from bottom to top, when using on large trucks, work in small sections to prevent soap from drying on the surface. Obviously, that's the same with any soap. You want to, especially when you get into the high alkaline or low acidic pH levels, you want to make sure those don't stick to the surface or dry onto the surface. So go ahead and apply that one, then apply stripes, step 2, directly over stars so that they mix on the vehicle surface. This creates a pH shock to loosen road film. So that is the whole specialty of this product, the two-step system there. So then thoroughly rinse with a high PSI at 6 to 12 inches from the surface, working from bottom to top, again, to reduce streaking. This method ensures that no area is missed, as the high PSI is what will now fully remove the road film. Using a mitt to remove stubborn grime is okay if needed on the first wash. Apparently after that you don't need it. Now, they do state on the front here 100 to 1 PIR recommended dilution on both sides. PIR stands for panel impact ratio, so that's your dilution plus the dilution of what's going through the foam cannon. It gets a little bit convoluted and confusing depending on what pressure washer you're using and what foam can you're using, but they have a more simplified step here. 1 part soap, 4 parts water, 1 part soap, 4 parts water. So 5 parts total, 1 to 4. So let's go ahead and mix this up. We're going to be using the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro, and then we're also going to be using the big boy pressure washer, not the, I can't remember, there's the Duo and the Pro. I'm going to be using the Duo in this situation. Now, one thing to note, guys, is they talk about the high PSI. The Duo doesn't put out a ton of PSI. I can't remember the exact numbers, but say around 1,000 PSI, but a higher GPM, gallons per minute rating of flow. So with that said, when we're talking about the actual impact to the surface, that higher GPM does create a higher impact force on the surface. So that's great to know. I can go into that in a later video if you guys would like. But anyways, let's go ahead and get these mixed up and treat the vehicle and see how it goes. Alrighty guys, so I've got this all set up. We have step 1 and step 2. I did 200 milliliters of the product, 800 milliliters of water on both of them. Again, MJJC, both these have the 1.25 orifice in there, just if you're wondering. They're cranked all the way down. I do want to state, guys, it does state in the directions that you should, here, let me just read it to you. Hang on one second. So let's see here. You should wear a mask when you're using this just to be safe, because it does state causes severe skin burns and eye damage. Do not breathe dust, fume, gas, mist, vapors, or spray. Wash hands thoroughly after handling. Wear eye and face protection if swallowed. So obviously it's low on the pH scale, right? Same with this one, it's high on the pH scale. They're not pH neutral, they are a chemical, so take the necessary precautions. Now, I don't have my truck here, my detail truck here. I do have a mask in that. I will wear gloves, but I'm just gonna hold my breath as I spray just to help. I know it's still not ideal, but that's what we're doing. All right, guys, so I'm all gloved up. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Again, we're gonna start from the bottom up with step number 1, the stars solution. And I'm not going to talk because I'm going to be holding my breath here. So let me just get started. Let me turn on the pressure washer. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, now that doesn't say anything about dwell time, so we're just going to immediately switch over to the other solution. follow the same pattern. So I'm gonna start here, go all the way around, and then go to the back. Here we go. Woo, now we're talking. Look at that. I wasn't seeing much of that with the first pass of the acidic product, but now we're seeing a ton going on. So that looks really good. Also, I would say that this does look quite loosened up to me in my personal opinion. You can see the line there, but again, we're gonna rinse here in a little bit, 6 to 12 inches away. And again, guys, now we're really seeing like all this browning coming out of the tire. Again, I wasn't seeing that stuff initially, but now that the mixture is there, man. One other thing I wanted to note is that for me personally, I noticed that the first product foamed a little bit thicker. The second one still foamed well, just not as thick as the first. Just something to note. Again, guys, also I do want to state, probably every soap will have those restrictions or warnings of, you know, don't inhale, don't, all that kind of stuff. So take it for what it is, but always be as safe as possible. I don't think this is any crazier than anything else, but man, it is doing a lot to pull out a lot of dirt right now for sure. So we're gonna go ahead. Let's just see if this is how loose this is. Yep, very, very loose. So, all right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my rinsing process now. Again, I'm using a 40-degree angle. Should I reduce that? I don't know, it doesn't state. So we're just gonna use that. I'm gonna stay, you know, 6 to 12 inches away like they recommend. I'm gonna start with the wheel, go across each section the way I did with the application. Go ahead, zoom on that. You see all that dirt? Definitely doing a great job cleaning there. All right, guys, so just after initial pass, I'm impressed. It looks really, really good. Now, obviously, we still have some stuff in here, right there, but that looks like it's actual contamination. Yeah, that needs to be, you know, iron remover or something like that, or a clay treatment to get that removed. But if we look along here, the bottom is looking fantastic. We will get up to that other spot where I did the initial wipe to see if it's equal to a no touch, but let's keep going. I don't know if you guys can see the water behavior on this as well. I ceramic coated this van a very, very long time ago. What I used, I don't remember, to be perfectly honest with you. But as you can see, the way this water is running, it looks like it's bringing the ceramic back. So it seems like it was clogged up pretty good. Usually an acidic type of a soap will help to unclog a coating. This one started off acidic, finished up with an alkaline, and it looks like it's doing a great job. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in here. So there's that streak right there. Let's see, I'm gonna kind of take it slower on it. So much better for sure. Let me see here, guys. Sorry, it's definitely, I mean, you're nitpicking it. It's still slightly there, but man, that is way better. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom you guys all the way out. I'm gonna go ahead and just finish rinsing this so I don't have any issues with the drying, and then we'll talk about it after. Really quickly, guys, here's that section. So here we go. So that spot is still there. You can see. So no, it's not as good as a contact wash still. However, it is doing a fantastic job. So again, gonna keep on going. All right, guys, so we went ahead and did the full rinse. Everything's looking really, really good. It's not 100%. you know, the areas where I took my finger across, it's 90-95%, which is quite good, right? There's one area that I will show you guys eventually. I'm gonna let this dry, no touch. It's a nice day out, so I'm just gonna let it dry. I'm using spot-free water, we'll be good. Now I do wanna talk about the ceramic coating side of this. The vehicle, I thought the ceramic coating had failed. It was always laying pretty flat. This is a great bonus for me that it's coming back like this. So I'm very, very happy about that. Now, did that help the cleaning ability? Maybe once it was unclogged. But regardless, I think the chemical does a fantastic job. Other than one spot, which again, we'll talk about here shortly after it dries. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, so it is pretty much all dry. It's still a little bit of wet spots, but overall it's all dry now. I actually did take a blower really quickly and just hit some of the other spots that were taking a little bit longer. Overall, obviously, as you look at the van, it looks way better, right? Look at that, fantastic. You can actually see the reflection of the trash cans there now. Everything's looking fantastic and really, really nice. Now, you may be saying, okay, great, but this is a white vehicle, it's not gonna show as much. And that's very, very true. So we are gonna get up close and personal in some of these spots to really see the difference. Now, I did mention one area that didn't come out great. And if you go up to the top here, I don't know if you guys you can see those streaks coming down right here, right? So those didn't come out. Now, that is, you know, directly off of the roof. So that area may have been a lot worse. And plus I didn't get up super close on that. So take that for what it is. Now, I will say the plastics, it did strip whatever was on here for sure, but it still doesn't look like it bleached it out at all. It looks like it just needs a fresh coating of, you know what? These weren't looking, I don't know. They look a little bit more bare than they were before. Now, the ones on the sides have been coated and these cleaned up quite well. They actually look just super good. So I'm happy about that. Now, when we get up, like I said, close and personal here, right? Let's look at the areas where I made the marks. So right there you go. You see that line? And then you can see there's just a lot of stuff still sort of contaminated on the surface there. So no, it didn't strip everything. It did a fantastic job for a one-step deal, or two-step, I guess, right? Step one, step two. But with no touching, it did a phenomenal job. Now, when we look at the glass, still quite dirty. Here's the line that we did there. Okay. So for the glass, it still left quite a bit of dirt on there, but that's pretty much to be expected. Now, when we loop around here, there you go. Those streaks, the drips are still there, but if you could see, you can't blame it for that. I am rubbing that with my finger. It's just this constant drip here. It's oxidized the paint a little bit, so I'll have to polish that out. That's nothing to do with the soap. You cannot remove that without having to do something mechanical to it. So no harm, no foul there. We come across this side and over here. Now, if you look down this side, again, we're seeing some streaking here. Let's see if I can get this on the camera for you. It's really hard to pick up, but right here, oh, there you go. You can see it. So some streaking, we just take our finger across it. Again, some of that is in the paint, right? It's again, from these drips off these windows. So no harm, no foul once again there. This one here, now that one does clean up. So, but again, no touch at all. The end result is fantastic. It looks really, really good. Did it work better than some other like high pH soaps that I've used in the past? As far as unclogging the coating goes, yeah, I mean, it really brought that back to life significantly. But again, that's that lower pH, right? Like Chem-x makes a product called reactivation shampoo, so low pH. Detail Co has their acidic shampoo. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I'll link all that stuff down in the description for you guys so you can check those out. So all that stuff will do that as well. Then, you know, it's really a question. Did it do better because it flashed with the acidic and alkaline products? I don't have an answer for you guys. I think it did a fantastic job. However, high pH soaps typically do a fantastic job for me anyway. So it's really kind of still up for debate. I will say though,
It looks phenomenal. So good job, Stars and Stripes from chem-x.
So there you have it, guys. Great product. It did a fantastic job. Is it a 100% touch-free solution, no touch? No, it's still not. It's getting us 90% of the way there on the paint. The glass a bit more or a bit less, right? That needed some agitation for sure, contact wash. But considering it was touch-free, it did an absolutely fantastic job. I like it. Everyone has commented about this stuff to me. You're right, it's a great, great product. So there you go, guys. That's the review for chem-x Stars and Stripes. I wanna say thank you again to Brian for getting these to me. I really appreciate you, man. Again, guys, this isn't a sponsored video at all. He's a viewer, I didn't pay for these, but he did and gave them to me. So thank you very much. Anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.